rise to pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Okay, so just to start off, we're going to act on the minutes from the April 19th meeting. Did everyone get an opportunity to take a look at? What do we say? David and Jen? David, Jen?
Yep.
Everything look okay?
Yep.
David?
Muted. Hold on. I'll unmute him.
All right. Just make sure. Just tell me he's on, and then we're good to move forward.
He's on.
He's on.
Okay. All right. Hearing no objections or corrections, the minutes are accepted. No other emails?
Chris McCoy.
No.
All right. Chris is here. Okay.
That's what Galen's complaining about.
So first up, order of new business, we have Reverend Eric Silva, Tyler Lomnitzer,
Perfect.
and Joshua St. Olmich. All right. On behalf of St. Pius, the 10th Parish, are requesting permission to hold a Eucharistic procession to celebrate the Feast of Corpus Christi on Sunday, June 11th, immediately following the 11 a.m. Mass. If you would, just explain your request.
Thank you very much for giving us time. Again, I'm Joshua St. Ange here with Father Silva and Mr. Lomnitzer, and we just wanted to say Corpus Christi is a wonderful feast in the Roman Catholic Church, and this year with the bishops calling us to renew our commitment to belief in the real presence of the Eucharist, we wanted to celebrate with a traditional way, doing the Eucharistic procession just across the street from the church, down to the corner, have a few minutes of silent prayer, blessing, process right back to the church, take no more than 30 minutes in the park. We go, we come back, we leave nothing there. Very simple, very easy, and a really good way to celebrate the feast and to have a good partnership and a goodwill between the town and the people of St. Pius Parish.
You mentioned that there's a small portable altar. You'll be carrying that with you?
Yeah,
or will that be set up in advance?
as far as I'm aware, the plan is to carry it with us for the procession.
Okay, and then carry it away?
Carry it away.
Or probably more likely at the conclusion of Mass, have someone precede us a few minutes beforehand. Certainly not to set it up for a long duration of time prior.
Okay, yeah, that's the only stipulation. You know, you can't have anything set up there like the night before or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many would you anticipate having?
I want to say.
What would your hopes be?
I want to say between 150 and 200.
That would be 200 would be the absolute max.
Okay. And weather permitting, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. And obviously, we're not going to ask if you need a rain date. Yeah.
One and only.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah. Any questions?
So will there be police there to help with traffic?
Once, if we are given permission to use the park, we will then contact the police. We want to make sure we go to them saying everything's already set with Parks and Rec, because they would say, well, yeah, there's Parks and Rec, so get the ducks in a row that way.
And we'd be using not the road but the sidewalk. So once we cross, traffic can resume as normal, and then once it's time to come back, then we'll have a police officer. So they would probably just remain immediately in front of the church.
You're going to go all the way down to Mill Plain.
Correct.
So you're going to be proceeding by Tasty Oak. We've always set up there. Okay.
We've had a good partnership with Tasty Oak for a number of years and using our parking lot.
Yes, I know. But I live right around the corner, so I see occasionally Tasty Oak in the parking lot.
There'll probably be people who won't come back from the procession just stopping at Tasty Oak. So good for business. Yeah.
Yeah, see people at the back of church, putting their orders in.
You and me both. Yeah.
Any other questions? David, Jen, Chris, any questions?
No, I just had the same question about the traffic, but that's already asked.
Nothing else?
I'm all set.
Okay. Anyone want to make a motion? Jamie?
Second.
And Bill second?
I'll second.
Okay, David, we already have Bill second, but thank you.
Welcome.
Any further discussion or comments? I'll put it to the public. Any further comments that you feel we should hear? All right, all those in favor, we'll start with those here, and then we'll go one by one for people on WebEx. All those in favor? All right, Jen?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Chris?
Yay.
All right. You're all set.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very much.
Nice meeting you. Take care. You too.
All right, up next, Jen, the Board of Ed report.
Yeah, thanks. So just a couple of things. We are now in possession of our Board of Ed budget for the 23-24 school year. We just have a few things that we have to reconcile after the cut from the First Select Woman's budget, and so that doesn't appear to be anything traumatic or damaging. So we were presented with the recommendation at our first May meeting, and at our next May meeting we'll be voting on that. Just a couple of other things. We've had a roof project approved, which shouldn't interfere, as far as I know, with anything in the summer. We're very grateful to have gotten the grant for helping to fund our HVAC improvements, which, again, will make everything in the district a lot better in terms of the environment in the schools. And then finally, because I've mentioned this a few times at the board, we did finally get the date when we will be receiving the presentation from SLAM, which is the consultant that we're using to come up with the redistricting scenarios. We had very, very much been hoping that this presentation would take place in May, and unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, that's not able to happen. And so the meeting where we get the presentation is very unfortunately going to be Tuesday, June 13th, which, yes, is the last day of school. And that's going to be a regular Board of Ed meeting where we get that presentation. And that's all for me.
Is that the same night as graduation?
No, normally it would have been then, but we moved graduation to Monday due to some other issues. But so graduation will be Monday.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Any questions?
What's going on at Dwight? I mean, have you made a decision what to do?
We have, since we turned over the redistricting charge to the consultants, we have received 0 updates. So one of the things that we charged the consultant with, and we didn't name Dwight specifically, we just said, is any scenario possible that would involve closing a school? And so since we sent that charge to the consultant, we have not heard back anything. So everything is waiting on that meeting on Tuesday, June 13th.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John.
Okay.
All right. Next up, Director and Program Reports and Approvals.
Yep. Everybody should have received a copy in advance. In the middle of doing all our summer programming, summer concerts kicked off at the Ken Darling Sherman Green Gazebo tonight. Officially, I think we have 40 concerts planned throughout the summer. Most are on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. For whatever reason, we kick off on a Wednesday this year. Did a very successful movie night at Doogie this past Friday night, which was great to use our new movie screen. We've got our normal peanut butter jam concerts during the day at the Sherman Green, Sand Jam movie nights at the beach that are scheduled. Fireworks are Saturday, July 1st, with the rain date of Sunday the 2nd. As far as the budget goes, as Jen mentioned, the budget was passed. I put in my report because I thought it was pretty funny. It was the first time since 1985 or so that it was passed by all 3 boards unanimously. So, kudos to, I guess, all the department heads for putting together, solid budgets. But it does put us in the right position to move our vision forward with the master plan and just keeping up with the maintenance that we normally have. So, as far as projects go, Tungus Hill Pickleball is under construction right now. They've poured the concrete.
We're ahead of schedule with that one. Based on the timeline, we were trying to be done by the end of August, but I think we'll be done well before that at this point. I don't want to say we'll be done in 4 weeks because by luck it will be done 10. But it's looking good there. Demo has started up at Dwight, and we're on hold at the moment at Fairfield Woods due to testing, school testing, not remediation type of testing, actual educational testing. We can't make noise during the day. So that one's on pause for right now, but both of those are still on schedule to be completed before school's back in session, in late August. So that's good news. Splash pad will be ready to go up at Lake Mohegan. They're just finishing the surfacing. Concessionaire up there is no longer there. He left at the beginning of last summer. We put it out to bid, and the way that works is there is a group called, I think it's the State Group for the Blind, SGB, and they get first right of refusal at any concession stand on municipal property to run, and that could be through vending machines or a typical concession. And they did choose to exercise their option this year at Lake Mohegan. So we're going to actually, instead of having a live concessionaire there will be vending machines. I believe one has already been, the drink vending machine has been installed, and then there'll be a couple food options up there through the vending machine.
Is it a new group?
No, it's been around for quite a while. The only thing that changed with legislation over the last 2 years, I believe, was it used to be they got all the profit. Now there is a slight revenue share where the town will see some of, I can't remember the percentage off the top of my head, it's a small percentage, but we will get a percentage of some of their sales up there.
But
They've always refused. They've always looked,
okay.
But then they refused. For whatever reason, they've refused. They didn't have the manpower, didn't have the willingness to do it. But this year,
Never heard of them.
We'll give it a shot.
Even looking.
Town or state?
It's through the state.
Through the state.
Yep. That's pretty much where we are at this point. So.
All right.
I have a question on the concerts. How do you sign up entertainers for the concerts?
Typically, they reach out to us, and we get a number of them that reach out to us. A lot of the ones that, as long as we don't get any complaints about them, you will try to bring them back. Sometimes we see new ones that when we go to conferences and things of that nature, entertainment showcases, and we'll pick them up that way. But a lot of times it's word of mouth too. So.
Whatever happened to our former sponsor who was involved with a number of the concerts? Is he still
sponsoring concerts?
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Anthony?
Yes?
One quick question, and I am very embarrassed that I don't know this, but just for the sake of my report to the Board of Ed, in terms of now that your budget is approved, what are the major things that impact school properties that are now going to go ahead?
Dwight Tennis Court and Fairfield Woods Tennis Courts would only affect school property if they're delayed. I'm hoping to have them done. I'm told they'll be done by middle to end of August, so there shouldn't be any impact there.
And what about anything? I actually meant it more as a positive thing. Like, so what are the things that you're happy about that are moving forward?
You'll have brand new tennis courts and pickleball courts at those two locations. RLMS Turf Field is the other one, but I'm still waiting after that meeting we had with the first select woman in the baseball group. I'm still waiting for a revised drawing from the consultants.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And the revised drawing is not going to include baseball is still out.
So baseball is currently out of the design. We met with the consultants and the first select woman and some of the Board of Education members, and try to explain the process and the timeline and how long this process has been going on for, and now why we're delayed in the process and haven't broken ground yet. They would like us, the community, the schools would like us to look at potentially including the baseball diamond and field with suboptimal lighting. What that means is the lighting wouldn't be able to be used for gameplay necessarily. So maybe you'll have a dark section on the field, or one half of the field wouldn't be able to use, but you would still have decent lighting down the other side of the field. And our consultant said, well, look, we never looked at you guys spending $4.5 million to put in suboptimal anything. So we only looked at the optimal options. But if you are adamant that we look at that, then we'll go back and look at it. So as part of the due diligence and trying to play nice with everybody and accommodate everybody, I just said, please go back, show me what suboptimal looks like. How bad is it? And then we will make a decision with the town attorney and the right bodies going forward if we wanted to go that way. But it's a stretch.
The expectation was that the fields were not going to just exclusively be used for practices, that they would be used for different games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So suboptimal would impact that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, good to get all the information.
So the assumption is with suboptimal lighting, there could be a baseball field.
There could be a baseball field, and what would happen in their perfect world is that you'd play baseball there, practice baseball there, during the day after school, and then at night, that section of the field would remain dark, and you'd still be able to use the multi-purpose field for maybe a soccer game or a lacrosse game. What we're worried about is how suboptimal that end of the multi-purpose field would be, and that's the concern. And again, they didn't run those numbers, so we couldn't speak to it to say, no, it's not an option, or, yeah, you'd be right on the cusp. So when we see how the numbers are, we'll make another decision.
And then safety
Right.
aspect.
Exactly.
First case, it's ball in the
Yep.
face,
Yep.
lighting, yeah.
We made it very clear that it will be in discussion with the town attorney. and- Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That it?
That's it.
All right. Anything else from anyone for the good of the order? Very good. We're adjourned.